Hey fam, it's your man Mark Black. Looks like I am back. Make sure you pop some ones in the chat, fam, and let me know if you can hear me. And again, we back, fam. We good. Excellent, excellent. Hey, thank you all, by the way, so much for your support, for your love. I can't say thank you enough. I'm just honored to have had the opportunity to bring the sister to you again. I know that you guys have some more specific questions. 30 minutes, we had to be respectful of her time, but 30 minutes was definitely not enough because I know y'all could listen to the sister talk all day, as could I, right? I'm just glad that we had an opportunity to have a sit down and hear from the horse's mouth, fam, what some solid political advocacy looks like when they have our name in their mouths, right? So again, after this broadcast is over, you'll have an opportunity to go on my Twitter. So if this is me hyping myself up. If you're not following me on the Twitter, you need to make sure you do so. Needed to pedal the generator faster, right? Yeah, I don't know necessarily what that means, but I get you. At any rate, fam, the line is open, 425-296-1980. If you want to talk about what you heard, if you got some specific questions or whatever the case may be, drop me a line. Again, we're going to talk about it. You got kicked off of Twitter, Universal? Yeah, I keep waiting for the day when they hit me. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm not saying I want them to. I'm saying, though, my turn's coming. Right? Yeah, I'm with you, Azzy. You know, the young sister, 22 years old, fam, and a firebrand, you know? That gives me a little fire in the belly. That gives me some hope. And I hope that if you guys run across other candidates, that you want to hear more from, let me know. I would love to have them come here and speak with you, fam. It's to me, it's imperative that you see for yourselves and have an opportunity to interact with, to vet, to ask questions of these people, right? I want us to always have that opportunity to be politically savvy and learn more about how this process works. I mean, we learned about entire neighborhoods in St. Pete that were razed to the ground to make room for a damn baseball stadium, right? But how many of us live in cities where this type of thing has happened all the time, and we have not had a single voice on the city council or in the mayor's office that was speaking with our tongue? You dig? Right? That was powerful. It was definitely powerful. 425-296-1980, fam. If you want to call in, discuss your feelings about having spoken, having heard the sister. If you want to ask me some questions, because again, she's not here to answer no questions, but if you want to ask me any specific questions, if there's something that you would like to discuss with me, now's the time to do it. 425-296-1980. Yeah, fam, I was definitely impressed. And so just keeping it a full buck, we need more advocacy like that. We need more people who are going to stand up and speak truth to power. It's as simple as that. And we don't have nearly enough, fam. As you can see from the congressional black caucuses, I mean, right now they're over there in Ghana talking about HR 40 with Ghanaians. What the hell do Ghanaians have to say about any type of American legislation? It's like every time you think they can't find a new way to neglect us or disrespect us, they prove you wrong each and every time. We need to get those we need them out of there, right? But we need to be cultivating the people who are going to be coming up, right? The ones who are coming behind, to get those folk out of the way, right? And we need to be able to have the opportunities to hear these people, to give them a platform, a place to stand, a place to speak. 425-296-1980, fam. The floor is yours. Let me kind of go through the chat here. Yeah, I like her too. She was awesome. By the way, fam, if you didn't catch her social media, please make sure to go back and catch this on the re-up. Um, she definitely, we definitely need to follow her progress. If you feel like you want to support fam, please make sure you do. I intend to throw a few bones her way to support her campaign and her efforts. I would encourage you to do the same. 425-296-1980, fam. Do you want to talk about what we just heard? Do you have any questions, any comments, right? Otherwise, I will let you guys go and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, right? I wanted to make sure to bring you the sister and let you hear in her voice where she stands, what she's looking to do, and so on and so forth. That's right, Azzy. We have a responsibility. Yeah, Charles. So you got a lot of members of the Congressional Black Caucuses over there in Ghana talking to the Ghanaians about HR 40. They're over there claiming they're honoring the 400-year history and talking about HR 40. Hell, it makes me wonder if they're trying to find some way to be able to send us back. I wouldn't put nothing past those Democratic bootlicks in Congress. I wouldn't put nothing past them. You're very welcome, Universal. Mississippian. I agree, but you know what? She's not the only one. We have other ADOS politicians and candidates that are going to be stepping up to the plate, right? And the next step in our political advocacy is getting them people in front of us, making sure they understand that we're seeing them and make it clear that they're speaking with our voice or they're not going to speak. Right? So, yeah, she definitely represents the future. I agree with you, the cool man. They haven't even had the damn bill passed yet. And they're over there talking about HR 40 with the Ghanaians. For what? The year of return. That don't mean anything for us here as ADOS. I haven't seen anything concrete from this year of return. Calling from 804. It's your man, Mark Black. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what's on your mind?
Yes, my name's Ben. I'm calling from, I guess, Central Virginia.
Hey, Ben, what's good,
Guess,
fam? Talk to us.
oh, no. Well, I'm not surprised with what they're talking about, what you were talking about with the CBC going to Ghana. As far as I'm concerned, unless they're going to add them to the reparations claim, whereas we would have some sort of right to Ghanaian gold. I don't see what the purpose would be.
I, I
You
would
know,
I would agree
and
with you, fam. Like to me, it's just a damn overpriced ass field trip that we're paying for. Because what is
right,
it that they're over there discussing with them?
right, right. Yeah, I don't think the whole thing about HR 40. You're more than likely right. It's that's just to say, oh, we're here on congressional business. Something to make headlines or
Yeah,
semi
what in
headlines.
the
What?
kente cloth hell is that? You know what I'm saying? Like they
Right,
miss us with this
right,
bullshit. It's like they fail to understand that we're operating in a new sphere as ADOS. We're not going with symbolism. We don't give a damn how
right,
many kufis and dashikis you wear. We don't give a damn
right,
about smoke screens. What we want is tangibles. And we want to know your
right.
specific plan for us specifically to provide those tangibles. But if you notice, fam, um, the Congressional Black Caucuses can't deliver. Look at the
No,
smoke that Cummings is getting. Right now, everybody wants to say Donald Trump. Excuse me. They want to talk about Donald Trump's racism and shit like that. Like America isn't racist, right? But they don't want to address the fact that Donald Trump didn't lie about our brothers and sisters in West Baltimore and what their communities look like. I grew up in an
right,
environment like that, man, where you can smell dead rats in the walls and shit of dilapidated row houses and things like
right,
that. That's a reality where these people got to connect to mains water through fire hydrants to get clean water. That's a reality.
right,
And this bastard Cummings that sat in office forever
right,
getting elected every 2 years, right? So he spent 1 year confabbing, luncheoning, and schmoozing, and then the next year, running for re-election. And he's been doing this now for decades. Meanwhile, our people got
right,
shit to show for it.
right, right. Yeah. I absolutely agree with you, and I don't think there's any remedy on either side of that ridiculous aisle that we call, or that ridiculous place we call Congress.
Mm.
It amazes me. Well, I just like to add a little note that the people that the reparations are supposed to affect, they're not visiting at all. And that you're going to Ghana, but the Ghanaians have their own issues. They're a separate country. There's something called, you're running down to the border, for more photo ops. But the individuals in your own damned districts, you're not speaking to them about HR 40. You're not asking them what they need. You're not what they want, what they would like to see, what this should look like. Not asking a soul from among the descendants of slaves or slavery, and you expect us to say, oh well, you're getting right on that. You have a bunch of I like when Antonio and the others talk about the aspirational Negroes.
Yes.
We're like the poorest group. We're the most aspirational poor people on the freaking planet. Whereas the symbolic shit somehow makes us think that, hey, they're getting on it. We're getting closer.
Yep.
And this guy used to tell me this joke. Black guy used to bartend in the Central Virginia area,
Mm-hmm.
and he said this. He said, hey, how do you keep a nigga in suspense? And I was like, how? Hey man, I'm about to slice open this watermelon. And that's the sort.
That's fucked up, but I feel the sentiment though.
Yeah, but that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
They threaten to slice open the
smoke,
watermelon.
it's all smoke and mirrors, man. I mean,
Right.
you see this bullshit with Bernard Sanders calling himself aligning with Cardi B. Everybody else, whenever there are issues that politicians want to address specifically with their group, call in economists, they call in doctors, they call in
Right.
they call in professionals. Only
Yeah,
us
yeah,
get disrespected.
they wouldn't dare call in Mattis Yahoo for freaking cash to Israel.
You feel me? Like they wouldn't come. They wouldn't go talk to Chuck
Bette
Schumer,
Midler.
the comedian, and ask her about issues that affect so-called Jews. They would never
Right,
disrespect them like that.
right. It's amazing. The more we look into it, the more we should feel insulted as a community. The more we think about it, the more we should be insulted. They think that we're just a bunch of simple-minded idiots running around. Well, we do have some idiots. I will say that we are. Some of us are so aspirational that we're ridiculous. I spoke to a young guy about this the other day. I was like, look, man, it's the sort of aspirational stuff is rampant even among the young folks. It's like, okay, I want some young guy was telling a friend of mine that he's going to make it to the NBA one day. Now, the friend of mine is a high school coach, and this cat hadn't even made the squad in high school.
How
And
the hell is he
and that's
supposed to make it to the end of the NBA off of that?
Look, man, that's the sort of crazy aspirational.
Man, if aspiration was capital, we'd be the richest folk in America, man. I swear.
Yeah.
Like, if striving for success actually provided real capital, we wouldn't need reparations.
Exactly. Now, granted, we don't want. I think that part of us. We don't want to dash anyone's dreams upon the stone, especially when they're young.
There's nothing wrong with having a goal or a purpose or a dream, right? But it's one thing to dream, right? But eventually, fam, you have to wake up. You have to say, okay, this is my dream. But what is the reality of what it will take for
Right.
me to get there, right? I'm a huge fan of philosophy, right? And Friedrich Nietzsche said that a man can have anything he desires in this life if he does but two things. One, determines what it is that he wants and what it costs. And two, be willing to pay the cost, right? But we as ADOS
Right.
don't tend to understand the real cost, like the sunken cost of 246 years of enslavement, of another plus 100 plus years of debt peonage, convict leasing, Jim Crow, mass disenfranchisement, lynchings, and so on. We don't count those sunken costs that we've already had to eat in our calculations of what it will take to do things, right? And
Right.
ADOS has come to say no more of that. We need to keep our goals. We need to have our dreams, but we also need to be grounded in the data. No, black man, the show is not over, fam. By the way, fam, I'm gonna let somebody else call in, so I'm gonna let you have the last
Okay.
word.
Well, hey, man, keep doing what you're doing. It's
Of course.
fantastic. I'm glad. Hopefully, where I am, I can get some young people to run for office. You know, I would like to see some millennials up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Generation X, we can get up there too, but I would really like to see some millennials out there, or some 30-something millennials out there, 20-somethings, to get in there and really stir things up, really make some problems with some
I
of these
feel you,
old,
fam. I mean, look at that
washed
sister,
up bums.
22 years old, and she was like, damn, going to college. I got work to do out here. Like, that was
Right.
powerful, fam.
And it's amazing that I think the college degree is becoming more and more obsolete, just in the general sense. With information out there, with at your fingertips, those that decide to use information to their benefit really don't need that sort of degree. I ran to college, and I can tell them it can be a waste of 4 years unless you're doing something specific like becoming a lawyer or
Or
a
something like
doctor.
that. Yeah, I hear you, fam. I hear you. Well, hey, thank you, fam,
Yeah.
for the call, man. You always welcome. Please make sure you call in anytime, man. And thank you for your call.
Hey, man, keep it up.
Oh, of course, sir. You got it. Peace, fam. Yeah, fam. I mean, we have to understand that it's all right to have your goals and dreams. But if you want, as ADOS, to have your goals and dreams are intimately tied to the success of our collective, of our tribe as a whole, right? So you can't just say, I'm going to go for self and think that you're going to be that magical Negro. That's not how this thing works, right? To the extent that your people remain suppressed, remain behind the eight ball, still eating the sunken costs of enslavement, Jim Crow, and all the rest, the odds are not with you when you have these grandiose dreams and these large aspirations. You feel me? Charles said, "Why hasn't Ghana said we support reparations for blacks in the diaspora?" You got me. It's a damn good question. By the way, fam, let me share something with you that you probably weren't aware of. Now, as you guys know, I've been asking for your support via Patreon, and I'm still doing that. Please, if you have the capability to do so, you value my work and what it is that I want to do, I have so much more that I would like to do for you. So please, if you have the capability, put 5 on it via Patreon. But I want to share something with you real quick that you probably weren't aware of. As you well know, YouTube has, various means of monetization, and one of them is Super Chat. Now, I normally, because I only have just a few people, I just usually read everybody's questions and things like that, right? But Super Chat is designed to get people the opportunity to contribute to the channel while asking a question or making a statement that they want highlighted, right? So I applied for Super Chat when I met the requirements, right, with the number of hours viewed and all this and that and the third. YouTube had my application in review for months. Fast forward to this week when we find out that Professor Black Truth had his channel taken down. I, of course, support my brother, Professor Black Truth, right? So I, like many others, on his behalf, reached out to YouTube and let them know that this man's channel is not hate speech. There was no call to cancel it, and we demand the reinstatement of his channel, right? And I also mentioned the fact that I've heard of people having their channels demonetized, having videos demonetized, not being able to take advantage of the same way the platform works for everybody else. Guess what happens today when I go to do the broadcast with the sister Akile? Yeah, all of a sudden my shit's approved. Well, guess what, YouTube? Thanks for the monetization. I appreciate the opportunity for my people to hit that super chat down there in the chat. But guess what? It's not going to change anything about what I say. Thank you, fam. I appreciate you and your love through the super chat, man. We appreciate you. But yeah, fam, they're going to try all sorts of little tricks. As we gain traction, you can best believe that YouTube and other media platforms are going to do whatever they're able to do to shut us up. And it's not conspiracy. It's not paranoia. We already know that we, ADOS, have changed the whole entire discussion in the 2020 Democratic election season, right? Haven't you noticed that since Marianne got up there last night and started talking about black people and specifically justice for black people, that now all of a sudden she's gone from being, oh, she's so sweet, she's this little kooky lady, blah, 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 all over social media. Now the attacks are coming. Now they're trying to say that she's anti-science and anti-vaccination, that she's against disabled people. How many of you on your social media have seen all these posts now shading Marianne Williamson where you didn't see it before? You see what I'm saying? When we, like the cool man said, when we get focused, we have the power to change the conversation. When we get people up there speaking with our voice, the whole damn nation rolls out to try to shut us down. You see what I mean? And they're going to try all sorts of little tricks. Brother Vernell said, keep going at them. I sure will, fam. I sure will. Fam, the floor is yours. 425-296-1980. Richard, you asked me. As he said, they're going to learn eventually. This don't stop. You damn right. No one pony stop this show. We appreciate it. Mr. Show said, ADOS tribe, stand up. You heard the man, fam. Stand up and it's time to do work. Richard, you asked me about a situation with a store or something like that I wanted to address. I don't know anything about it. So, Richard, make sure you do this for me, right? Because you be bringing up some good stuff that I want to talk about, but I don't know enough about it to speak intelligibly. Shoot me an email, blackoutcastmedia@gmail.com. Shoot me an email before broadcast, so when you come on, I'll have had a chance to research what you were talking about, because I want to make sure that I address it. Erica Fromm. Let me just jump up real quick here, do a search. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not finding really anything on it or whatever. But Richard, I'm gonna make you a mod real quick. Do me a favor. If you got a link to an article or something that we could take a look at, I'll be more than glad to take a look at that for you. But yeah, August, she's getting dragged all over the place, right? Now you remember, fam, that we talked about Anna Kasparian and how she was going in like a right winger on ADOS folk when she was in that discussion with Ann Coulter. I saw a tweet from Cenk Uygur, right, who's the other half of TYT, right, the Young Turks, where he tried to low-key throw shade at Marianne Williamson, talking about this is why it's important that we have outsider voices. Like, oh, it's good to have her, right, but she needs to stay on the outside. Fam, how many times I did I tell you that some of the greatest racism shit that we'll experience in this country is not going to come from so-called rabbit-ass, dyed-in-the-wool avowed white supremacists, right? It's going to come from these so-called leftists, these so-called progressives, right? Christine Williams said, Amos Wilson said it best, when we see ourselves as a nation, then we will change things. Facts. Facts. When we started cleaving to our lineage, to our heritage, when we understand lineage mattered, we changed the game. And we got everybody shook. You saw how Akile had that reporter shook in 2 minutes. He was like, well, thank you, right? We're doing that all over the damn country. You know, one thing, though, that I do want to speak on real quick, fam. And again, the line's open, fam. 425-296-1980 is the number. One thing I do want to speak on is how Donald Trump is exposing a lot of folk. Now, again, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. I didn't vote for the man. I'm not a MAGAite or a maggot or whatever the case may be. But I give props where props is due. Donald Trump is exposing a lot of motherfuckers. Let's just keep it a buck. Donald Trump is exposing a lot of folk. Oh, I see. Okay, Erica Thomas. Yeah. You know what, Richard? Here's some shit that strikes me as strange. Right? I've noticed this phenomenon lately of black folk that's aligned on the left, right? With the Democrats mostly, who are sitting up here on public platforms, boo-hooing and crying and shit like that. Like, fam, I know y'all saw that fool on CNN, right? Who was talking about infested. Infested. And boo-hooing and they had the nerve to say that was a powerful moment in media. What was so powerful about this dude who, if he did grow up in Bmore, haven't lived there in forever in a month of Sundays, right? He did what everybody in the hood would like to do. Got his ass out. But now he butthurt. Thank you, Victor Slackwell or Blackwell, whatever the name is. Man, get the fuck out of here. Like, you sitting here on national TV crying like a little girl because Donald Trump had the nerve to tell the truth about Cummings? And everybody wants to try to use deflections of racism. But let's keep it a buck, fam. Donald Trump is racist. There's no doubt. But so is America, right? So just telling us that somebody's racist don't mean shit to ADOS folk, right? Let's keep it a buck. We don't care. You feel me? Like, we do, but we don't. Saying somebody's racist is like saying somebody's breathing. This is America. You feel me? Right? But let's say that Trump is racist. Yes, he is. Does that take away at all from the truth he told about Baltimore? Right? Does that take away from the truth of any of that? Right? Because they would love to sit here and talk about how racist Donald Trump is. And they right. Donald Trump is racist. Okay? But nobody wanted to talk about the speech that Donald Trump gave in Virginia the other day, where he praised the state of Virginia. He ran down their history and stuff like that. But then he paused and said, now I want to talk about another anniversary. And he proceeds to talk about the landing of the first African slaves in Virginia in August of 1619. Trump called our ancestors' bondage brutal and criminal. Trump said that today we honor each of those sacred souls who suffered under the chains of bondage. Beautiful words. Sacred souls, he said. Donald Trump then proceeded to lay out the history of our contribution to the United States. He said African Americans have built, fought for, defended, protected, maintained this country since before it was America. That was his words. How many of y'all seen that anywhere on the media? Now, again, I'm not saying that we should be like, oh, Donald Trump's on our team. No, because he still need to cut the check. Right? But how many of y'all got the chance to see that? How many of you got a chance to see? Oh, by the way, fam, it gets better. Donald Trump had barely talked about our contribution to the country, honoring our history in Virginia. To, by the way, resounding applause there in the House of Burgesses in Virginia. When this immigrant motherfucker stood up and talked about, don't be deporting our people. Donald Trump, Virginia's our home. Don't deport us. So when Donald Trump was running down the history of Virginia and was talking about the white settlers in Jamestown and how they went through the starving time and all that shit, right? The whole 9 yards, this motherfucker didn't have nothing to say. But as soon as Donald Trump started talking about Africans and their contribution, talking about our ancestors and their contribution to the building, the growth, the maintenance, and the sustenance of America, this immigrant motherfucker got up and interrupted the speech. House of Burgesses or House of Congress, I don't know what they call it in Virginia, but you know what I'm talking about. But how many of y'all heard about that? Where the hell was that speech? On CNN, MSNBC, right? In NBC, ABC, CBS, C-SPAN. Exactly, Charles. I heard the speech from T West. Shout out to the brother T West from Afro Synergy News. Again, family, your black media is bringing you information that the pale stream media do not want your ass to have. They shut our brother, Professor Black Truth, down. But you know what Professor Black Truth would say, right? Bury the man, continue the plan. Right? How many of you follow him, but actually listen to what he says in his commentaries, his speech? Professor Black Truth consistently talks about the need for us to support our black media. But everybody's cool with riding the coattails and this, that, and the third and B1 in it all day long, right? Until it comes time to put something in on it. You have to support your black media because no one else is. No one else will. It's not that we're greed hounds. It's not that we're trying to eat off you. But who else is going to give you the information? Who else is going to tell you about the situations and the speeches and the meetings and stuff that you don't get access to? It's your black media that does that. It's Tone Talks. It's Breaking Brown. It's Black Outcast Media. It's the Black Authority. It's Professor Black Truth. It's Brother Tariq, right? It's T West with Afro Synergy. It's Brother Phil, right? It's Brother Tarian Rain, and so on and so forth. We got to step up and support each other. I don't go to a single one of these channels without putting 5 on it. And I'm unemployed. Fam, I'm trying to work on getting disability because I got health issues. And I still make sure to support my black media because I know what it takes for those voices to get up there. I know how people risk their jobs, their livelihood, in some cases, even their lives. There are brothers and sisters right now who broadcast information that you love to hear, who have had their personal information doxxed, their location. You remember when Tariq got doxxed and the police showed up at their house with guns drawn? This man in there with his children? Whatever you think about Tariq, right? If you value the man or you don't value the man has a right to be supported. Because he's putting his ass on the line to make sure you learn about things, get information and so on and so forth. You see what I'm saying? From 903. I think I know who this is. This black man. What's good, fam?
Hey, I want to say that you did a really good job on the interview. You really did
man,
a professional job.
I appreciate it. It
You
was
did
my
good.
honor to do that.
Yeah. But the other thing I want to sit there and say about the progressive movement is really a thorn in ADOS side, if you don't know that. Well, I try to tell people to watch free speech TV, and if you ever watch free speech TV, you will see the little things that they do about us, because there is no us. It's always a people of color thing, right?
Yeah.
It's never specifically about a black man. I remember this girl from Israel, right? Or a Palestinian girl. She slapped this soldier in the face because the Jewish soldier, had killed her cousin, right? And on free speech TV, the lady was talking like she's being considered the new Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks ain't never hit a damn person in their life.
Oh my God!
But somehow, yeah, but that's how they paint it. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They do this all the time, but they think they're being so edgy and so cool, but you're really being disrespectful to our movement. I called into Tom Hartman's show one time, and I said, I don't think you guys are really understanding the lineage of chattel slavery has held on to black people. We still eat chitlins. We still eat chitlins, my God. Don't you understand? That's a lineage thing.
So is.
Yeah, and he doesn't get that. He's first immigration itself, right? But then so he took my call. He played me on my call the whole time. But then afterwards, this white girl gonna come on. I'm Irish, and Irish people went through slavery too, and blah 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 blah. And that's how disrespectful they get at times. And they think they're being so cool and so inclusive, but they are not. They are not. They are really giving you the boot to keep it moving and shut up and let somebody else take your spot.
You know, another thing they do, black man, is you ever notice how they always try to make something the new black, right? Like gays the new black, or
that's why
this group is the new black. And I keep thinking to myself, fam, when they do that shit, I'm like, wait a minute, the old black is still here. Like, you motherfuckers
it's still here. Ain't never went nowhere.
Black, right? But you want to make somebody else the new black?
Yep, and when you call him, I sit there and call him. He never says, he'll never sit there and say, hey, make me understand ADOS a little bit more. Oh, you shouldn't be saying that against Africans. No, that's just pulling everybody down. Or it's just really weird how he talks like he knows. My next question gonna be, he has open line Friday, right?
Yeah.
So on Friday I'm gonna ask him, what black media do you listen to? What black media is talking like you're talking? What black media is believing what you're sitting there saying about the things you're saying about black people? Because if you really knew black people, real black people, ADOS people. Say again.
Probably Coleman, Cruz, Hughes.
Well, this is gonna be my thing though. He doesn't.
Are the worst.
But like I said, he doesn't take the time to understand or listen, because I'll sit there and ask him. Okay, I'll ask him, what kind of black media do you listen to? I asked him even one time, do you have black friends? Oh, sure, I have black friends. I said, have you ever spoke to him about any of these issues? No. Well, that's either telling me one or two things. Either you don't have black friends, or you really don't have black friends, or you think they're too stupid to understand that kind of talk. Because if you really were into your black friends, you would be really asking, especially if they were ADOS, hey man, tell me about this. Hey, tell me about that. Tell me and make me understand. I'm first generation immigrant myself, right?
Yeah.
And not me, I'm saying, but from his point of view. And when I sit there and call him and say, what about the Indian kid who stole affirmative action and didn't pay any kind of debt for that? He didn't go to jail. You're lying on a government form. But you don't do no jail time. You get to write a book.
Black man, are you talking about Mindy Kaling's brother? That
exactly.
Yeah,
100%.
Lied about being black to get into medical school.
Exactly. And then after that, he quit.
He bragged about the shit and made money off it.
Exactly. And made a book and everything. But he doesn't go to jail. He doesn't get any time. But we're going to sit there and charge a kid on the playground who's in the fourth grade for hitting somebody with a freaking ball? Come on, man. What are we doing here? It's a game. It's a big game, and we're being played every single day. And the other day, I'm listening to him, right? He's sitting there saying, Tom Hartman, if in order for you to have a gun, you should have to have this kind of gun insurance or whatever the case might be. Criminals don't care about that, but the honest, hardworking people, to them, it's just another tax. another way to get money out. And if you're a poor black person or poor black ADOS, how are you going to afford to keep your gun? How can you not afford to protect yourself now? Think about that stuff. Think about the protection of your own home. And they sit there saying, you can't have a gun unless you have this kind of insurance on it.
Fam,
that's crazy.
Black people don't understand.
But he's
and so we keep repeating it because we the first gun control laws in this country was passed by Reagan's racist ass in California as the governor to try to control the Black Panther Party for self-defense.
Yep. They showed up in there in the hall with guns and shotguns and stuff, and they went berserk. Absolutely. They went crazy. They weren't breaking the law, though.
Nope.
They weren't breaking the law as long as they were white. But once you come in as a black man with some kind of weapon, now you're wrong. That's what the whole thing was for Philando Castile was. He was doing something legal, but you still shot him for doing a legal thing. There's no way in the world that guy should have got off. And you can simply sit there and hear in the video, I'm getting my paperwork or whatever. He sit there and say something to that effect. He said, don't pull it out. He said, I'm not. Don't pull it out. You just panicked and shot him. You still got to do manslaughter for that time, man.
Yeah,
but don't be fooled by.
We already know that Yanez is not going to do a damn day over it.
I know, but I'm still saying I don't want us to be fooled though about being a progressive, about being a Democrat. Don't be fooled by that stuff.
Yeah.
If again, what the girl sit there and said, she sit there and said, if they ain't talking a black agenda, they ain't talking to me. They talking about LGBTQ and illegal immigrants and DOC and everybody else. But when you sit there and say something about ADOS, hey man, y'all need to cut that kind of talk out. That's divisive. You're being divisive because you don't want to be down. You don't want to be down with the black and brown and everybody else.
They could divide these nuts because if you're not talking ADOS, you're not talking to me.
There's nothing there for you. If they're not talking about an ADOS platform or something about reparations or something about us specifically, there's no reason to talk to them. There's no reason to listen to them at that point. This Buttigieg guy, I don't even know why he's up there. You can't take care of your own city from your own department killing black folks. So what the hell are you talking about? What can you do for an ADOS agenda?
What he can do is he can make some milquetoast ass, universalist ass plans and put our ancestors Douglas on it and this, that, and the
third. But it's all fake though. There's nothing in there. There's nothing in there that makes any sense to really help an ADOS platform or make you think that he's really an ADOS dude. His goddamn part is gonna be LGBTQ stuff, and you know that's gonna be the fact.
I'm gonna tell you something.
He's gonna support whatever they want first.
I don't think that the Democrats took enough of a spanking in 2018. Right? Because we stayed home in droves in 2018. Black folk was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Like, we didn't vote hardly in no numbers in 2018. And you would think that the Democrats would have saw that and been like, whoa, pause.
No.
What's going on?
You know why? You know why? You know why they didn't? Because they thought they had it in the bag and they knew Donald Trump wasn't going to win, right? So when he does win, then they want to come back and blame y'all. Hey, y'all didn't vote. Well, what were you talking to me? Tell me what was I going to vote for? A bishop sit there and told us that we need to make them heal? Yeah, that's what I'm going to vote for. That's what I'm really going to vote for. Come on, man. And again,
somebody else that want to call in, fam. So
go ahead.
Go ahead and drop you off. But man, thank you for your call.
All right.
You always welcome to call back again another time.
Peace. Appreciate it.
Caller from 323, it's your man Mark Black. What's your name and where you calling from? What's on your mind? Make sure you turn your background down too as well, fam. We want to make sure we keep the call quality straight. Hey fam, it's your man Mark Black calling from 323. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what's on your mind?
Hey Mark, this is Vernell. How you doing?
Hey, peace, brother, man. Thank you.
Hey Mark,
thank you for the support, man. I appreciate it. What's on your mind?
Oh, brother.
Talk to us.
Hey, brother, before I start, I want to thank you for that testimony that you gave on Breaking Brown when you brought what you shared about your brother and stuff. You brought that, you put a human face to it, and it was able to measure his destruction.
Absolutely.
George Wallace, Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
here's the issue that I want to discuss. See, we've talked before. I live in L.A., so I get up that morning and where I work for the government. I'm out in the field all day. So I'm out in Century City, Hollywood, everything. I mean, they say it's in Hollywood, but all the studios in Century. So I'm up there. I'm seeing a friend of mine. She dressed all like an African. She's an Afrocentric sister and stuff. And, they coming out there to her truck and stuff, getting food. So they talking. And guess what? They know, because what people don't know is the breadbasket for the Democrats is Hollywood.
Yeah.
They waiting to see if we can sink this movie, how much influence we got.
Yeah.
The Harriet Tubman movie. If we can really, really have an effect on that, then they know that we can sway black vote. I'm telling you, that's tied. That's our first real test. We got to sink that movie. That sends on a hell of a message.
You ain't kidding. And not only that one, but this other one that's supposed to be coming out. What's it called? Queen and
the new Black Panther. Yeah, that's the same. That's what it's supposed to be.
The two is supposed to be like a black Bonnie and Clyde. It's got Bokeem Woodbine, and I saw like the trailer for it. The movie looked whack to me, but it is what it is.
Well, because they acting, because Africans come over here, and if they break their pencil, they start crying.
Yeah,
so it ain't gonna be about that life.
Please,
so it don't make no sense.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so. Yeah, that's why it's so hard for us to just suspend the logic and just enjoy the movie, because they ain't about that kind of life.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, that is the number one thing that's our early test. If we can push that, if we can rattle that cage, I'm telling you, you're going to see a hell of a lot more. They're going to present a lot more tangibles around real tangible things that we can use. See, I'm a baby boomer. I'm 59. The thing that people don't understand is I caught the end of that affirmative action stuff. Man, it's night and day. You go to college for free, whatever. Basically, whatever help you need to succeed, they provided it. This is why I'm talking to my supervisor. She a baby boomer. I'm like looking at her like, you know what? You're a great supervisor. She's pushing that, we got to vote thing. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting up there like, you know what? I don't really want it. You're my supervisor. You're real cool. You always have my back. And then she tell me your little ADOS thing, because I gave her, I'm pushing ADOS 100. I'm out there. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be out there this Saturday. We doing a town hall with what's this brother Polynomics. We gonna
you're talking about Dr. Claude Anderson.
Yeah, we're gonna partner up with them, and they have an event in LA, and we having a town hall meeting to present the facts about reparations.
That's okay. What's
up. So yeah, but my point is, let everybody know, man, we gotta sink this, because if we can we sinking people campaigns, because we beat that hypocrite Kamala Harris down so bad.
Oh yeah.
The first time they didn't know what to do. I mean, she still got lumps on her head from that first beating.
She hasn't recovered. And she got that little bit of a bounce when she called herself trying to shade Biden in the first debate that they had, right? She got a little bit of a bounce from that, but she's been steadily retreating backwards, and that is all due to us, to ADOS. We stayed on their heads. Look,
can you
go ahead, fam?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you.
Can you imagine how her team had to look at her to say, "You are a damn fool"? She clearly, anybody who's talking about Kamala, when she said the emotions, the vitriol, the sheer disgust that she had, no, the body language she had when we was talking about specific benefits for ADOS. And the response she got, to even utter that woman's name, you got to be a damn fool.
You feel me? I mean, look, there's a lot of folk out there, right, that I'm on the verge of consigning to as traitors to ADOS. Like they gonna get the same treatment I would give any enemy at this particular point, because you can only go so far in trying to talk to people, right? See, we ADOS, we long suffering, right? We figure we present you with the data, we'll present it with, present you with it again, then we'll deliver the invoices, damn the receipts, right? We deliver the invoices to you. You see what I'm saying? Showing you the evidence that these people don't mean no good to us, and they name steadily coming out your mouth. At some point, we have to be like, okay, you're done. You're done. Go ride with them, and don't come back to
Well,
us.
you,
You're persona
well,
non
I
grata.
got, yeah, but what I find out from working with these people is they got quite a few butter biscuits in the freezer. They just ain't took them out.
Yep.
So they hoping that nobody comes for their butter biscuits that they got in the freezer.
Yep.
You
There's
know,
too
and
many
that's
people
the
out
thing.
there
They got,
depending on these butter biscuits, and they don't realize that the supply is about to dry up. Look, I'm gonna tell you, fam. You say what you will about the possibility of reparations from Republicans, but I'm telling you, do not be surprised. You have ADOS brothers and sisters that are on the Republican side of the House that are making moves over there. They're quiet moves that we don't get to see because most of us fuck with Democrats. But Mark Black is a black outcast. I mess with everybody. I mess with
right.
Republicans, Democrats, Greens, Socialists, motherfucking ultra right wingers, alt right. I'll talk to anybody, right? So I be seeing things that other people aren't privy to. You see what I'm saying? And I see
Let me,
quietly there's some
let me,
moves that people are making
yeah,
over
but
there on that side of the house.
no, it ain't so much of that. Let me tell you, you're absolutely right. But here's the thing that's changing the game. We now have been educated. We have a playbook. We're in the game. We was in the stands cheering. We had pom-poms and every damn thing. We wasn't even on the field. Now, if you say anything crazy, we like a gang. We just run over there, just beating the hell out of you, dragging you. Like Black Lives Matter queen. You know what? The old yesterday she could have came and stole all the thunder. Nobody would have did nothing. There was no data. There was no lineage. There was no new black media, and she could have presented that to the butter biscuit factory and got some butter biscuits.
Yep.
And now what she got was she got invoices and she got drugs.
Yep, she got shade and smoke. She talked about that it was Occupy Wall Street, Black Lives
Yeah.
Matter, and other movements that put reparations on the map. Like, what? Bitch,
No, man.
please.
You know what? They were, and really though, if you want to know the truth, they sided early on with what's this mental health rapper. I think they sided with him much earlier,
Oh, yeah.
and they was literally talking about. I think Yvette almost had to drag them. She just gave them a little bit of what she just opened the door. She didn't even drag them out. She told them pretty much about the homophobia. She told them don't let her get started because she's like, I know what it's really like on the scene.
See, here's
So
the thing. They
my
don't
whole,
realize
yeah,
that we not only have advocates that have already been in their councils, like our sister Yvette worked on the Hill, right? She know how the game go. But we also have Brother Tone, a trained attorney, a film producer who moves in pretty broad circles. They forget sometimes who the hell they talking to. They forget the lessons that we've been having hammered home in our heads for the last 3 years under the auspices of Yvette. Right? Politics 101, politics 102, right? Who you? Ground yourself in the data. Ask questions.
right.
Question. They don't realize that it's a whole new ball game. We a breed of ADOS people that they have never had to face. We just not gonna fall for any old okey doke.
And and not only that, there's this whole part. Like me, I know so many of these Pan Africans. Do you know some of them? I've had to drive around. I've had the pleasure of chauffeuring them around because I was deep up into that Pan Africanness.
Yeah.
Because that was the only game in town. It's either you was in the gangbanging, you was in the chasing women, or you was into something crazy. I've always been in, and I'm telling you, I know so many of them, and I'm telling you, man, offline, they just regular dudes. But when they get, even been on. I mean, I know dudes that I've been in and out of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I know what it's like. I have a son who's African.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm raising them. And matter of fact, when we go home this Thanksgiving, we go into the grave. I'm showing them where my people's bones are buried at.
Yes, sir.
We've already had that lineage talk.
Honor to your ancestors, fam.
Sisters, and exactly. And I told him, I said, your mother's African, but you're African American because this is where your people's bones are. This is where your father. And like, for instance, if you ask him, because I asked him, so what's some of your favorite foods? I wanted to find out. So I was like, oh, okay, so most of your foods are Southern foods, you know, but you do eat some African foods, but most of your foods are Southern foods. But I'm saying that to say I would have ran across quite a few West Africans, and I don't bag up, and I don't say nothing disrespectful, but I know how to get them off me without even being disrespectful. I basically just say, how do you feel about Biafra? They don't want to go on record answering that. Yep. They run like hell.
You know what? There's a lot of folk that don't know that Biafra. I'm not going to go into it on this broadcast, but I will say I've learned a lot about the bite of Biafra. I've learned about the interactions with the Fulani, the Igbo, and other slave catcher tribes and the peoples and the bite of Biafra and so on and so forth. Right? There's a lot. There's a whole lot to that. But yeah, fam. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, they didn't expect us, but now we in the fight solid, right? And they're going to come after us in every way possible. And we have the easiest advocacy of any group in this country. We are single issue advocates. Reparations or nada. It's as simple as that, right? Reparations or nada.
Right.
So, yeah, fam, I'm going to go ahead and drop off here, but I want
yes, sir. Appreciate it. Well, you know what, brother? Look, I work out in the field. I work in social service setting. I work in the mental health. I'm a mental health professional. Mm-hmm. We are in total collapse, down to the fact that now I'm watching children trying to twerk. You know, I'm serious. We into financial, moral. Man, I got today. I'm running around trying to get a 62-year-old ADOS man to put some clothes on because he's smoking PCP.
Yeah.
And he's a cancer survivor. Come on now.
Man, ADOS
all right, my brother.
Is a bitch out here, man. And
it's not only ADOS life. It's ADOS thinking. You being put in a situation where you have fatalistic view of life and a fatalistic way of thinking. So it's not just ADOS life, it's that ADOS. I had to come up with that phrase. It's that ADOS thinking.
You right, fam.
And because I don't see that in immigrants.
You right, fam. We got a lot of house cleaning to do. I mean, my thing is this. At the end of the day, we know we have a lot of issues that we have to address. I'm
going to give you a real quick. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to give you a real quick work-related joke I picked up that I created. ADOS, we don't have issues. We have newsstands.
Well, you ain't never lied because everybody know our issues. The shit's on the news.
Exactly.
Fam, I love you, man. Thank you so much for your call.
All right, love you too, brother. Keep it up, man.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate your love and support as always, man. Thank you.
All right, my brother. All right, bye.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Pat, I agree, man. We definitely need to be on our Second Amendment. My Second Amendment rights defend all the rest. But yeah, fam, you know, we have to understand that the closer we get to 2053, the more dire straits are going to become. We don't have the time for milk toast, laggards, weak-willed, jelly-back, accommodationalists. We don't have time for any of that, fam. It's either put up or shut up. If you ADOS, your job is to become the strongest advocate for your people that you possibly can be. How many times do I tell you, fam, that my job as Mark Black is to make more Mark Blacks, right? My job is to make more advocates, more proponents to push home this justice claim. Understand, fam, at the end of the day, America is never going to agree on justice for us. We don't need America to agree. We just need enough. We just need a critical mass of ADOS who are willing to go all out, balls to the wall, all go and no quit for this justice claim, and we can make it happen. Fam, I want to say thank you to all of you who were here for the interview. As soon as this broadcast is done, I'm going on Twitter and post a tweet. I'm going to, tag Akile so that if you have specific questions, right, that you want to ask her, feel free to jump in that thread. If you ain't already following me on Twitter, you're failing, right? So you can see the link to my Twitter there on my homepage. If you haven't done so already and you're new, please subscribe. We could always use more angry black sheep. If you care about your black media, fam, I'm not gonna be no beggar here, but support your interests, right? Put 5 on it. Join my Patreon, right? When we come up, hit the super chat now that we've got it, right? It's not that I'm trying to get rich or eat off of y'all, but advocacy comes at a cost, right? You either can pay for my voice to be heard, or you can continue to pay for MSNBC, CNN, and all the rest of them to speak for you. That's really your choice. So, family, as always, I want to thank you all for your love, support, your eyeballs, your time. I've got the best damn group of audience of people on the entire sector of YouTube. My angry black sheep are the bomb. And so stay tuned for Sucker Free Saturday, 4:30 Pacific Daylight Time, my time, Sucker Free Saturday as usual. Join us, be here, or be square. And until then, fam, as always, I want to wish you all love, peace, prosperity, and power, real power to our people.